Hello.
Hello.
Hello, and welcome to Lunar Reflections, the astrology show where we discuss the Taurus new moon by sharing real life stories to connect with that moon cycle that's happening right now on a deeper level. And
Yeah, happy Taurus full moon.
Yeah.
I mean, we're like right on time here. The moon is already in Taurus right now as of this moment, just some of the earlier degrees. But the portal is open. The energy is active. We are here. And this is a really big and exciting new moon. Lots of divine feminine energy, which we all need right now to kind of chill down some of the fieriness of the season. And so, yeah, we'll be talking about themes of mothering and nurturing yourself. We're going to bring in some asteroids today. So we have a little bit of a different wheel than usual. We're going to talk about Persephone and some other mythology and share some stories from our lives and some fun things going around the house as well.
Absolutely. And for those of you who do not know us, my name is Jake. I am a hypnotherapist, a quantum guide to connect with your higher self. You can book one-on-one sessions with me. All that information is down below. And I'm joined by...
My name is Corbin. I'm a natal astrologer. I offer natal chart and birth chart readings as well as forecasts, astrology forecasts. I use traditional techniques. A lot of what I based my work on is kind of the Hellenistic lane of astrology. But I love to kind of go everywhere with it, and we'll bring in some new things today.
Yeah. And of course, want to welcome in our soul tribe. Hello, friends in the chat. Hello, Lynn. Good to see you.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Hello, Jody. Hello, Ken.
Oh, what a beautiful day we're having,
Beth
Jody,
is here
right?
too. I know, right? Isn't it beautiful out? Hopefully you all have a beautiful sun as well. It's also really warm, which I'm so grateful for as I have my shoulders out. It is, it's beautiful.
I have my thighs up. I just can't see those.
Absolutely. Hello, everyone, and welcome in. Happy Taurus full moon. No, new moon. Happy Taurus new moon. Before we dive into the show and sharing all that is happening, a reminder that I've got an event coming up. Here, I'm going to pop this down. The Pleiadian Soul Family Reunion event happening on May 23rd. So we're just over a week away. That is going to be at 10 a.m. If you can't make it live, you can get the replay. So buy a ticket for sure. It's going to be such a fun time. Community connection, a profound and fun journey, guided journey to connect with the Pleiadian energy. And if that is like Pleiadian soul family, if that is parallel selves, if that is like your guides, you need to come to this event and have a good time with us.
I mean, probably the coolest family reunion event this summer. I think my family's pretty awesome, but I think this will maybe be a cooler event.
I would agree with that sentiment. So grab your tickets. I will plop the link in the chat so that it's nice and easy for you to grab. Yay, and Emma's got her ticket.
This absolutely resonates with the astrology going on right now too. You know, the Pleiades, that star cluster is located at the end of Taurus. So the sun is kind of in that zone right now. So you're right on time. You got the vibe, Jake.
Glad to know it. I mean, at this point, I usually assume that I'm pretty in flow. I feel like I'm doing pretty good, following the flow for the most part, right? And most of us are. That is a common thing that the higher self says, is we're usually pretty on track with what's going on. Anyway, back to the Taurus new moon. And
so yeah, I mean, it's tomorrow, actually.
Tomorrow morning?
Well, in the middle of the day, you know, because new moon, right? The sun and the moon kind of come together, so you won't be able to really see it in the sky. And so yeah, tomorrow during the day, it's at the end of Taurus, 25 degrees. So make sure you grab your chart and just pay attention to where Taurus is. We'll be talking about that a lot today.
Yeah. First topic, on a fairly light note, take a break.
Take a breath.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know about you guys, but I have felt like, well, for I would say all of 2026 and a good chunk of 2025 as well. I felt like I'm just like sprinting and it's just go, go, go. Things demanding attention, like just like dominoes falling and action, action, action. Lots going on. It's been fun. It's been exciting, but there hasn't really been much like reprieve.
Yeah. Well, and like in the astrology, people have been talking about like the ample amount of Aries energy and, you know, the outer planets stepping into Aries and Saturn and Neptune. And there's just been so much adrenaline, which is another like Aries word, or like running on kind of chemicals or panting, going wild. And, you know, for me, it really felt like Taurus season kicked in and I didn't realize that it was time to take a break and that I couldn't quite yet take a break. And we finally have been able to kind of slow it down. I feel like since the Scorpio full moon, I feel like everyone was that was really big, right? I think a lot of shadow came up for a lot of people. I think a lot of people were kind of forced to go into an internal process at that time. And that has allowed us to take a break. So these are some of the ways that we have enjoyed Taurus season, at least in the last 2 weeks, even though Taurus season is almost over at this point.
Enjoying it. We've got Emma saying this is near her MC, Taurus at 26.
Yeah, big, very, very big. Oh my gosh, absolutely.
Lynn has 24 degrees North Node, and 25 is Algol and Mercury. No, Venus. Algo and Venus. So definitely some action there, some activation there.
Of course, we have a great divine feminine audience.
Absolutely.
And this is a major divine feminine moment. And so this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Did we want to play our little the song that's been looping in your head?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times the messages come for me, you know, through music. I'm a Pisces myself, and all week this week I've just been laughing and giggling to this little snippet that we'll play here about relaxation.
Let's slow down. I know it seems kind of tough, but really it's easy enough for us to slow down the pace so we can all go take a break.
And that's where I'm going to stop it so we don't get copyright. But the lyrics, like, let's all slow it down so we can go take a break.
What a good Taurian message, and what a great thing to be considering right now too.
Yeah,
I know that in the last few weeks we've definitely kind of stopped with some of the home projects and focused on just trying to, what was the phrase that you used? Enjoy our mortgage. Just kind of like relax. And
have y'all heard that term, enjoying your mortgage?
Staying home and enjoying
enjoying your house, enjoying that money that you spend on, you know, the place that you live, and appreciating the finer things that entails. I mean, we definitely jumped into things fast, and like it was exciting and we had a good time. We had some hard times too, but
and this might be similar to kind of how the new chapter of your life has gone on, where you kind of jumped in head first and you kind of needed to course correct and tune back into yourself. I know that as I've been tuning back into myself, connecting with nature has been kind of a huge component of that. Of course, we live at a beautiful place now along the river, but being able to kind of ground it down, to focus on the physical body, to become present, you know, these are great Taurian themes. And things to be considering and thinking about your relationship as you're connecting with some of that, as we have this Taurus full or new moon here at the end of the season.
Yeah. I had quite a few like moments that I reflected on this Taurus energy because it was just very clear. Monday in particular, I had the pleasure of being home alone. Corbin drove himself down to the cities and had a little work meeting, and so I was home, and that was the first time I'd been like here solo. And at first I was like, kind of like, you know, the SpongeBob meme of like, you know, caveman, like caught off guard, like, where am I? And then I was like, no, I'm going to enjoy this day, and I'm going to do things my way, and I'm going to go at my pace. And it's not Corbin's fault, but like oftentimes when he's here, I just unconsciously feel like he's watching me and like being aware of like what I'm doing and like my work and stuff like that. And
that's fair. That's okay.
and it's mostly like a self-conscious thing about like the productivity, but when I'm home alone, I just kind of float with it. And it's like I very much leaned into the like Taurus, what did you say, fixed energy of just like doing it my way and at my pace.
Oh yeah. I mean, people with a lot of strong Taurus energy or a lot of fixed energy, definitely my way, my pace kind of folks. For sure. Yeah, that's super duper fair. And it comes from the idea of the seasons, which we're going to talk about a whole bunch today. But each set of seasons, has each of the 3 different modalities, and the fixed part of a season is kind of the apex or the most true elements of it. So Taurus is that fixed moment of spring where it's like absolutely spring, where it's undeniably spring, where you kind of look outside and it's like, oh, the flowers are blooming, you can smell the blooms as you're kind of walking around, the baby animals are popping out everywhere, that kind of a thing. So let us know how you've been taking a break, how you've been relaxing, how you've been connecting with your body, nurturing or taking care of yourself, remembering to eat a meal, that kind of a thing. Let us know in the chat kind of how you've been taking a break.
Sounds like Jody's in the Taurus vibes of shopping.
Yes.
And I feel like shopping could definitely be grounding, especially if you're like getting nice like cotton or linen or something that's like a nice natural fabric, like that's very connected to the earth.
I mean,
Taurus is,
it's that sensual side, right? So as if it's something that's feels good, makes you feel good, feels good on the body, or is cozy for you, then that's totally the vibe right now. I think that's a great thing.
And Lynn's got crystals, of course, very solid grounding and balancing tool for sure.
Do you want to show those cute
little
pictures?
Want to. I want to show you guys
forward. This was like
shopping for crystals, Lynn says. Yes.
This was like 10 minutes before we went live. We were a couple minutes slow because we were oohing and ahhing at the baby bunny in the front yard. But again, like undeniably spring.
Look at that little guy.
Sorry to folks in the Southern Hemisphere.
He's so cute.
We had another really special moment today here at the house too. If you look really, really closely, there is an egg in that nest. Our robin, who's nesting,
little baby robin,
just outside our window, laid her first egg today. So that's really exciting. And it's just it's a beautiful day here. It's a beautiful kind of Taurus new moon vibes going on. So.
Yeah. Absolutely. I know you would appreciate the bunny, Ken.
Beautiful baby bunny.
Oh, he's so cute. And he's popped up in our front garden a few times now. And he's just a precious little guy. He's so tiny.
Yeah.
The other bunnies are huge.
So speaking of gardens, one of the reasons why this moon is just so significant, there's a couple of things here, but I know one of the big headlines in astrology recently was that Uranus finally left Taurus after like 7-8 years. And so, I thought of this idea of this freshly plowed garden or this terrain that's kind of been cleared out, because one of the things that Uranus likely did in this area of your chart, over the last handful of years was really tried to clear something out and make space for this newer, more authentic, higher version of yourself to kind of come through. Definitely was probably a little bit of a shakeup in the Taurus part of your chart if you take the time to reflect on it, and definitely, cluing into what house that is can kind of help you to understand. It's just such a beautiful new open window now that energy is out of Taurus, and that we're having this new moon here to be able to very intentionally choose how we're moving forward in kind of the aftermath of Uranus's time here. Uranus would have provided insights and a deeper understanding or a higher understanding of this part of you. And so, this is really just a big portal moment to be grounding in some of these upgrades, intentionally working with them. It's a really strong moment to just kind of set the stage for moving forward. I've heard that this is a super moon, while like astrologically that isn't like super significant. We do know that this last lunar cycle has just been like really strong. I mean, the Scorpio full moon was like basically off the charts. I heard from everybody. Everything. It was just, yeah, it was very, very intense. And so I'm expecting this one to be just as potent as well. And again, there's been so much masculine energy with all the planets that are in the fire signs and the air signs right now. It's a lot of like yin energy, and this is that counterbalance, and it's just so important. So freshly cleared area, it's a huge, great moment to kind of plant the seeds that you want for moving forward.
Yeah. This is in my 9th house, right?
Taurus is your eighth house. You're a Libra rising.
Definitely been feeling the shifts. Which we'll talk more about as we get along.
Well, and I mean, we could probably just reflect a tiny bit more here. Your 8th house, how did the ways in which you connected with others deepen or change with Uranus in there over the last handful of years, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's been the burgeoning of my client work for sure.
Or like Taurus is my 5th house. I'm a Capricorn rising. The 5th house is your house of like fun, games, hobbies, things that you really enjoy. It's like your seat of creativity in those years. That's when we started doing all the orgonite work, right?
We also have another Capricorn rising in the chat.
Oh, shout out Capricorn rising.
Yeah. So let us know if that resonates with you as well.
Could it be big shifts with the relationship with those kids? Because that would have been a very large activation. 5th house can be the area of children as well. So yeah. But reflecting on that, you know, taking that story, what happened there, and using that to really inform what you're doing moving forward. Because that's part of this moment in time. Should we pull up the chart for a moment here?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
For those of you who have not seen it,
we got the wheel going on.
I'm going to hide that so it's
okay.
Make it bigger.
So the next thing that we want to kind of get into here would be the presence of Mercury in the chart at the time of this new moon.
Can you zoom it in?
Right now, I am just a couple days pre today's new moon. So this is back last weekend on Sunday, and we can see that Mercury is at 15 last Sunday and just a handful of days ago, and the sun is here at 20. And I'm just going to move the chart forward a few days here because yesterday we had a really significant event where the sun and Mercury were here together at 24 degrees. And so we had our Mercury Cazimi, which is a really exciting moment. We can kind of pull the chart down and we'll just keep talking from there. When you have a Cazimi, that's when the planet comes into the sun, and it can be seen as this idea of getting new codes from the sun, new information, new light codes, a new way of moving forward. It's definitely part of the like death and rebirth cycle that each planet goes through on its own rate. But it's a very significant moment and kind of a change in karma whenever you see it happen. And this is kind of a big message that happened right in the lead up moments here in this new moon. And what's really cool about the new moon is when it is exact, Mercury is still really close by. And so, we brought the chart down. Do you want to bring it back up? Yeah. And so here we are now at the new moon. The sun and the moon are at 25, and Mercury is still very close by at 28. So big part of the energy that's going on here. What has all happened inside of all of this? So that Cazimi, that coming together of Mercury and the sun, it could have brought to you a fresh understanding or new ways of like strategies on how to handle something that's been going on. Likely this is related to the new chapter or the new era of your life. As we've been settling into kind of these new phases, there's been a lot of different like options, ways of going. We have like kind of like new environments where there's kind of a multitude of ways of doing things. And this Mercury can kind of give you a little bit of a more practical or a more grounded or like a more secure way of going about and doing things. It also can bring you ideas or understandings about how can I be bringing more joy or pleasure into this? How can I be going about this in a way that might be easier or more comfortable for me? There was this idea of taking a break. How could I maybe incorporate more breaks into what I'm doing, and not be running on that adrenaline and burning myself out? So just in the really pre-hours right before this new moon, if you had this kind of like an aha moment or a conversation with someone where, you kind of saw something in a new light, it's really, that's really part of the magic that's going on here, that you can be intentionally incorporating into what you're doing.
Wanted to say hello to those joining, including Carol and Ben.
Hello.
Good to see you. And we have a new friend here, SMD. Hello, welcome.
SMD, shout out.
The topic of like new ways of doing things, like
Is that the Cap rising dating a Libra rising?
Yeah, I know.
Love it.
It's so funny because I'm a Libra rising.
Angular relationships are really potent. So I see that a lot. And yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. I love the synchronicities always. But on this topic of like new ways of doing things, I've been like very busy lately, but been like not having the financial like abundance coming in that I've been wanting to, and that I've been aiming for, and that I've been like building towards, and had these moments recently, especially leading up. I feel like it kind of all happened around the last moon and then leading into this moon, where I was like, okay, we're going to switch it up and like do a new way of doing things, try something new, approach things in a new way, in a practical way, in a way that like makes sense. Which
you really connected with this when I was like romancing about it last night. And so
I was going to share and show you guys.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen Jake's new services and new bookings, again, Taurus is his 8th house. This is how he's connecting and working with people on a deeper level.
Yeah. So I have a new offerings, new packages. So doing 30, 60, and 90-minute sessions. And these are a combination of tarot, intuitive guidance, higher self connection, basically tailoring this to you.
Well, and for you, I mean, it's honoring your divine feminine a little bit more. These are a little bit more intuitive,
leaning on more my intuitions than simply using my hypnosis skills to guide someone. And so weaving in more of my own intuitive take, my own intuitive flavor into these sessions, giving people another angle, another facet of connecting with your higher self, connecting with the higher self, because in these, I mean, I'm channeling my higher self. I'm working through that aspect of me, that facet of me. So,
so there might be, an element of how can I incorporate my intuition? How can I honor the divine feminine more in what's newly unfolding for me? She might be a secret set of skills that you have inside of this sector of your life that's like growing and blossoming at this time. And so, I loved how this kind of connected with it. I know that for myself, when I was thinking about, new moves, a new way of going around, definitely the commute to and from work now is like something else. It's about an hour and a half. And I just know that there's been a few times where I've been in the car where I've said to myself, how can I make this more enjoyable, more valuable, a more valuable use of my time for when I do have to make that commute. And for me, I really decided at the end of the day, I'm going to pour my energy into astrology. I'm going to get caught up on just having thinking time. I'm a 3rd house sun. I actually kind of love the time in the car because that trance mode can really get the ideas flowing for me. And so I just kind of set some intentions to be thinking about astrology and, what is it that I want to chew on? And so that was kind of how, again, and then, 5th house, a creative project of mine, astrology, of course. And so it was just kind of, how do I make this better for me? Taurus, right now, Venus is not in Taurus. She's in Gemini, but Mercury is in Taurus. And so there's this concept going on right now in astrology that we call mutual reception. the two of them are in each other's sign, like that they rule. Again, Mercury rules Gemini, that's where Venus is. Venus rules Taurus, that's where Mercury is. And because they have this kind of same thing going on right now, there is very much an alliance between the two to be working in harmony for kind of your best and highest goods. Really more positive outcomes generally come from a situation like this, because there's such this deep harmony going on between these planets and energies, and that only continues for the next handful of days. Mercury is right, if we go back to the chart, Mercury is right at the end of Taurus at 28. If we move the chart forward one more day, so this would be Sunday or Monday, depending on where in the world you are, Mercury will move into Gemini, and that relationship between Mercury and Venus gets even stronger because now they're hanging out together in the same place. And there is that conjunction with Uranus just around the corner. So that gets really, really exciting. Again, super potent new moon that we are working with right now, to be touching base, getting grounded, connecting with your internal divine feminine, and helping to like nurture yourself to realign for how you want to be moving forward with kind of your new chapter that is really unfolding. I mean, we've been in this house now for 3 weeks. We can't deny that the new chapter is here.
Oh yeah.
It's very much happening in a lot of ways for everyone. So feel free to share in the chats kind of what your new era is about, how things have shifted for you recently, and how you're working on balancing that out and kind of catching your breath.
Yeah, because that's been a part of the work shifts too, is like, how do you work productively? How do you work in like a positive way, but like not killing yourself, like taking those breaks that you need, taking care of yourself in the process, like building something in a way that is sustainable and isn't going to burn you out. I feel like has been a part of the story too for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love that. Anything in the chat?
We've got
shout out to the chat.
Well, Lynn loves her road trips as well, which makes sense. Nice to chill. I know for those of you who don't know, being on the road driving can put you into road hypnosis. It's like a roadside trance, and great for thinking, great for ideating, great for connecting with your higher self, great for seeing UFOs if you're driving along the highway. Gets you into a nice receptive place to be able to see things beyond the norm. And Carol and Ben like to listen to us on their road trips amongst other programs, and we love you for that. Lynn is working on past lives, healing past lives with the new modality. Yeah, so that new coming in for sure for you in a really fun way. I love that. Watkins Cat House, Pisces, Moon, Venus, and Mars. Girl, you're in the right place then. Good vibes. My focus has been love lately. There you go. I love it. I love that.
Yeah.
So a helping hand is our next little topic here.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of love and goddess of love, our, Venus, she is in Gemini right now. And as we think about that archetype and what can be offered, especially from, Venus is the ruler of Taurus. And so looking to her position in the sky right now can really help us get a deeper understanding of what this lunation cycle is all about. And this idea of a helping hand or, somebody else lending a hand definitely was the first thing that came to mind here. When Venus is in Gemini, she's very like social, talkative. She really wants to talk it out with you, right? She can be very adaptive to like the different situations that she finds herself in. She's all about sharing information and ideas, different perspectives. And, right away I thought, oh, what a little gift this is, because again, we're all in shifting and changing environments and like trying new things. And so being comfortable to like maybe reach out for help, but then the someone like being there to actually help you, or somebody
Mhm.
who wants to like share that information with you, this can really point to like new relationships forming at this time, or deepening of relationships that can really help advance what it is that you want, and that other person too, because there'll be like this inherent like interest or desire, because again, Venus is giving positive outcomes at this time, really in a lot of ways.
Love to hear that.
And so, yeah, right. And so I just see this as such a, again, and then the mutual reception idea that we just talked about, I just see this as, you know, like, if you need help, just raise a hand and the universe will meet you halfway on this one for sure. Text your friend who you think might be able to like offer perspective, because like they probably do want to like share what their opinion is.
Yeah. This reminded me of two different things. One, we've had a few moments recently, especially since moving into this new house, where we've been like calling on our friends who know things to help us
Yeah.
out.
Oh
Like,
my gosh,
hey,
yes.
you're an expert in this, please help us. Oh, hey, you know about this thing, can you give us any advice here? Hey, can we just talk through this thing? I know you've done this before. Like tapping all of our friends for all of the insight and the knowledge. So shout out to our friends who are watching this, who have helped us along this journey, because we love you. The second thing, I had such a on-point message come through a client this week. One of their questions was around resisting this habit that they were trying to break, and how, you know, their higher self said, yes, we can help you clear that now, but you still have that responsibility to hold to it as you move forward. And the question was like, how can I get help with that? Or like, can you help me with that? And the higher self was like, absolutely, please ask us for that help, ask us for that support, ask us to you know, give you that like bolster during that tough moment, because you don't have to do it alone. And especially when you're working through some of these tougher like shifts and changes with the new coming in, with these new patterns and habits and routines and experiences, leaning on your higher self, or leaning on your guides, or leaning on the Pleiadians, if you want to come to the workshop and lean on them. I feel like that would be a good thing too. But that was a couple of things that I was thinking of as you were talking about those pieces of this, because it's a common message, but especially this week, it felt very on point, especially with it was related to diet. And so it was like a Taurian habit as well, I feel like.
Yeah. And at the same time, you know, there's a couple triggers in this chart to Pluto. You know, the moon would have made a square to Pluto before it perfected and became new. So in the very early degrees, we would have had a square to Pluto in Aquarius. And so again, that concept of, you know, your tribe, your niche, that specified area that you want to be working in, that you have this vision for. There can be people that are really supporting from that. But yeah, you had brought up something about the vulnerability, or like, you know, kind of dealing with reaching out. And so there's a little bit of that element that's being asked to negotiate inside of that square right there. Like the square with the moon can kind of bring up a difficult emotion. But as the moon moves forward and enters Gemini, then it actually hits a trine with Pluto. And so it's like reaching out, being vulnerable, very shortly turns into a connection that is valuable and beneficial for you. And that makes you feel good. So yeah, do it. Ask for help.
Yeah. It definitely is not an easy thing. And I think especially in Western culture, we're very much taught to, you know, pull yourself up by your bootstraps and be, you know, you have to succeed individually. But the reality is that literally no one does that. Everyone relies on a tribe. Everyone relies on other people. there's no one that does it solely alone. It just doesn't happen that way. And I feel like the more that we believe that, the more that we like allow our ego to like step down, because I feel like it's like an egoic thing to not ask for help. It's like that pride or that fear of rejection or fear of like judgment. But when you push through that, chances are that other person wants to help you because either they got help when they needed it or they didn't and they realize the value of it, right? Most people want to be, want to be helpful, want to be good people, want to be nice.
Yeah. Well, and like Uranus is in Gemini right now too. And so that connection, that new person, that new relationship, someone who's like offering a foil or a mirror, that can really be electrifying, right? That can really be transformative. That can really kind of change the equation for you. And so beginning to acknowledge how Uranus is working inside of Gemini, also like really important right now, but might become most obvious first by the way that Venus is kind of showing that. Again, Mercury's going to bump into Gemini and this whole thing's going to blow up in like 2 days here and it'll be like very clear. But I know that I have Gemini in my 6th house. And just as I said, in this last couple of weeks with the driving, it's just been extra time for astrology. And, my 6th house is your house of daily routine and habits and, kind of how you take care of that. And so I've just been really extra busy with astrology. That's very Uranian, it's definitely like from a modern perspective, one of the planets that we would say that like rules astrology. And I've just been like far more on my daily practice right now than I have been in the last handful of months. And I kind of attribute that to Uranus entering this aspect of my chart that talks about what I'm doing every day with my time.
I love it. Should we chat about the other things that you've been learning in your spare time?
Yeah. Because with all the extra time that I've had, I've been digging into some things that go beyond some of the Hellenistic and the traditional astrology. So this week I've really been digging into a dwarf planet or an asteroid. You can call it whatever you want. There's like less rules when we get more modern here, right? And this would be the planet Ceres, or you might be familiar with the Greek goddess Demeter. And so, if we go back to the chart, I hope I have this on the right day right now. There we go. At 25, this is the symbol for Ceres as well. It reminds me of the like sickle, because Demeter or Ceres is like the goddess of agriculture. She has like a crown of corn and like grains, and definitely has like a lot of association with like wheat and the harvest. And so if you didn't know that like astrological symbol or kind of where it comes from, but yeah, she's right here at 25, Taurus as well. She, some of the asteroids really talk about more of the different aspects of the divine feminine. If we talk about the traditional planets that kind of show up on the wheel, 5 of them are masculine and only 2 of them are feminine. So there's like a little bit more to like unpack about her or like you or like these aspects of you, because like we're more complicated than that. And so that's why some of the asteroids are really cool, because they can help kind of dig into some of those like themes or topics. And definitely as like dug deeper into this chart, the idea of Ceres being here at this time, and like we already talked about, stopping running on adrenaline and like nurturing and taking care of yourself. Well, she's an asteroid that really kind of reminds me of the moon, because so much of her is about that idea of nurturing, that idea of mothering, of taking care. And I did recall, Jake, that time when we were passing through Cincinnati and we were getting brunch, and there was that guy like just panting.
Yeah, we had stopped at this restaurant because it was a vegan like breakfast place, and it looked really good. And it was kind of just marooned in the middle of just kind of like abandoned streets. I'm not really sure the situation of Cincinnati and what was going on, but
Or at
like
that time.
or at that
It might have
time,
just
but
been then.
it could have also just been then. But anyway, there was a gentleman who was very strung out on something, having a time in a different reality, but he was just huffing, like marching down the street, just like panting, and I was like, dude, take a deep breath.
Touch grass, touch grass. Well, and take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. Right? We're like
yeah.
trying to get brunch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was 10 a.m. probably 9 a.m. 10 a.m.
Wow.
It was pretty early morning, and I was like, buddy, you need some water.
Yeah, someone's still too much on that Mars energy.
Yeah.
Not. Anyways, needing a little bit of self-nurturing. But yeah, other fun facts that I recall, she's kind of the biggest object in between Mars and Jupiter. Yeah, fun stuff. But if you want to dig into your divine feminine gifts, definitely Ceres can help you to understand some of that. There's rumors that there might be water on Ceres, or that they would be a good place to look for water. And that also just reminded me of the womb of creation, or the waters of creation. Sometimes we get meaning and association from what we can observe about the planets. Sometimes we get it from the mythology. And so, yeah, from the mythology standpoint, she's connected with the story of Persephone and kind of how we get our seasons. And Jake, you're going to share about...
Yeah, I have always loved the Greek myths, especially mythology in general, but especially the Greek myths. Now I realize that I definitely have had multiple past lives in whatever period that was. I don't think we necessarily have the right framing and timing of it all. But anyway, the myths are very fascinating. And this one is, I feel like, a pretty commonly known one, because it is it's about the seasons. We all experience the seasons. And I feel like this is Persephone and Hades. I mean, they're big characters, big players. So the myth goes that Ceres, or Demeter is the mother of Persephone, and they're having a great time on the normal plane. Demeter is the goddess of the grain, of harvest, the earth goddess and agriculture, mothering, right? So she's very much the doting mother of Persephone, and she loves her, and Persephone grows up to be beautiful and great, wonderful, and all of the things that you'd want in a goddess. And then Hades,
things you'd want in a goddess.
And then Hades comes along, and as is, I feel kind of habit in the Greek myths, the male patriarchal characters are a bit take, gimme. And so he took Persephone and kidnapped her and brought her down to the underworld. And Demeter was quite upset. And there's also a side of this where you're okay, but did Hades kidnap her, or was she kind of down for the bad boy, and she went with him willingly? We don't really know.
Well, there's also maybe part of this of was Demeter overbearing, overshadowing, and
how old was Persephone? Was her mom just strangling her at home?
Did there's the idea that you can kind of attract that then if you are globbing on too much.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's that forced freedom, or that forced separation. Anyway, the story goes. Do you have something else?
No.
Okay. The story goes that Demeter is so upset and so depressed and horrified at the kidnapping of Persephone, that she decimates the earth and causes everything to fall into a winter, right? And this is the origin of winter. And winter fell, and she's all depressed and really sad. And I guess there's one version that Demeter actually goes to the underworld to go and check on Persephone, which is interesting, that she would make that journey, because people like the gods and goddesses, no one really like makes that journey and comes back from it. And so that was like a big deal that she would like make that journey and come back from it. So there is like definitely like a lot of strength in that mothering drive, that mothering, nurturing, caretaking, rescuing kind of vibe. But there's also the overbearing side of it. Ultimately, Persephone, there's like a deal worked out where Hades gets her half the time, and then Demeter gets her the other half of the time, right? So we have summer and we have winter, and then there's the transitionary periods in between. And winter is obviously when Persephone is down in the underworld.
Mm-hmm.
She's hanging and partying with Hades, and her mom's real upset, and so is winter. Eating the pomegranate seeds, indeed.
Yeah. It's really awesome. I love all the mythology too. I like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It gives like characterization, I feel like, to these energies, and helps you to understand like some of the lived ways that this might show up, even if they are like these stories.
And again, this show is about telling stories that help to make it more real. And so, yeah, we definitely understand from this that like topics of mothering, nurturing, how you take care of yourself, how you take care of others. Lynn, I see that you shared that your series is at 0 Gemini. And so like, I would imagine nurturing to you could like involve some of the Gemini things, like sharing information or sharing perspective or helping someone to see something in a particular kind of way. Kind of like how we were talking about that lending that helping hand. That could have been a big part about how you received nurturing growing up, or about how you enjoy giving that as well. And so, or just like sharing information, and so if you look at where your series is inside of your natal chart, you can gain a little bit of insight kind of about how that works for you.
That resonates for Lynn for sure.
Oh, cool.
I try when I can for sure.
Yeah. And
but yeah, this one of the things that I was thinking about with this like Ceres energy, this Demeter energy, and this moon.
We're working on saying series though, because of cereal, cereal, wheat and grain.
Yes.
Hey, I mean, you say how you want, but that's what I would try to tell myself, because this is just how the chain forms, right? I mean, it's how the world manifests around us. All of this stuff is coded with it, right? Everything's coded with deeper meaning and everything. And so, yeah, when I realized cereal and Ceres, it's like, oh yeah, the goddess of wheat.
Okay, I'm trying really hard to hold on to my thought.
Sorry.
The idea that this energy of like mothering, nurturing, like for me, I feel like I see this in the new work projects that I'm developing, the things that I'm starting to nurture and bring into existence, the things that I have nurtured and how they're coming to like maturity at this time. And I feel like some of the shadow of this can be like overbearing, or like being like smothering of like your project, or that person or that thing or that situation that you're just like nurturing and taking care of, like letting it breathe a little bit, giving the universe space to work its magic, giving your higher self the space to help you out. Because when you're overbearing, when you're over nurturing, like you don't give space for like that soul or that energy or, that thing to have its own life and have its own experiences and like grow through that. And I feel like there's some of that Demeter like smothering Persephone and not letting her live her life, or not letting her go out and do what she needed to do and learn through those experiences. So I feel like this can be a moment of like making sure you're reflecting on how you're mothering, or how you're nurturing, or how you're, bringing your thing, whatever that is, into reality too.
Yeah. I love that too. And it makes me think about, last time with the Scorpio full moon, we kind of talked about like what is dying, what was in the graveyard. But this on the other side is like really supporting the seeds that you are planting and really supporting that which is growing right now. I mean, heck, she's called the Great Mother.
Mhm.
And so there's so much support right now in that new lane, as long as you're remembering to support these divine feminine aspects as well, and in that they are part of that equation. And so, yeah, I just think like, I think about my own garden here. I was saying to Jake a few times, this is going to be the year where we have like, what is it that they call like bumper
A
crop?
bumper crop.
A bumper crop. We're going to have like extra big harvests because, right now is like a prime time to be planting if you're here in North America, and probably actually planting around this new moon would be like really, really potent to have like a strong season for whatever it is that you're growing. Again, it's coded in everything that we do. It's not just the inner work that we do. Of course, Ceres can reflect on some of that inner work that we're doing, especially as we're working with kind of how we're nurturing and taking care of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We got a Ceres in
Taurus. Oh,
13
cool.
degrees. Yeah.
Look at that.
So probably pretty spot on for you, which I feel like what you've been sharing has pointed
it's
to
like
that
extra divine feminine energy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Beautiful
Time for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, and definitely like a potent new time in kind of picking a new path and a direction forward, right? Like saying, I'm going to be embracing these things, just kind of how you were talking about, like the shift in how you're working right now. That's what really kind of makes me think about this energy too, of like having Ceres return back, because then she's kind of gone through her journey all the way around all the signs, picked up information, picked up, experiences, and comes back home and says, all right, now we're going to do it this way. Go ahead. You were thinking.
No, I just had a thought about like the different roles that a mother can play, and the different roles that Demeter played in the story, and this idea that because I'm also like I'm thinking about how do I show up in different ways in different like avenues or different arenas, right? Like YouTube is a different game than like in person in this new smaller city that we live in. There's going to be different ways that I show up in different like aspects, in the ways that like a mom will show up as a different a different role, a different facet of herself in different situations. I feel like that could also be something that you're experiencing in whatever area that Taurus is in your chart too.
That's still the Cap rising. She said kids at one point. Otherwise, that creative project, whatever it is, share what your project is.
Yeah. So share if any of this is resonating with you guys. Let us know.
Oh, I think the last thing that we wrote down on this one was honoring the loss or the grief, because we've talked about that as being one of the big parts of the opening act. Sometimes you start by clearing it out. And I know that the Scorpio full moon 2 weeks ago had quite a bit of purge for a few people, even physical at times, I've heard. And so, there can be honoring that process that you're going through. Like if you know you're in winter, or like you're coming out of that winter, honoring that shadow work that you've gone through, understanding that is part of the rebirth and renewal process, because I think definitely the change of the seasons allows us to think of growing, dying, being reborn again, that kind of a thing. And so, if you've been going through the changes and they've been a little bit more difficult, she's really here to help open that portal of self-nurturance. Or maybe Gemini, lean on a friend, maybe they'll provide it for you.
I love it. New creative endeavor, creative project would be astrology.
Beautiful.
That could totally work. Absolutely. I love it.
Thanks for sharing too.
Yeah. Great share. So the last thing that we touched on was a fun little news snippet that you grabbed.
Yeah. When I saw this in the news, I just thought, oh my goodness, here is the astrology. And we were just saying that the Scorpio full moon was like pretty big. And so this is a ruby. So, a big old red stone. We think of Mars, right? The red planet. This article I saw last week, and it had talked about the previous week. And so I do think that this big big stone. How many carats was it, or how many pounds or something? Just like a massively huge, like maybe the second biggest ruby ever they found. And it's just, to me, this is such a physical representation of when we talk about like, oh, we're doing the shadow work and you're finding your diamond, or you're finding that like, that aha moment through like stumbling through the dark. 11,000 carats, 5 pounds.
5 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
Carats.
Can you imagine that being on your altar? Go back to the picture. And so, these are just the fun moments where we get to see the astrology in action. We like to talk about the mundane things and kind of the commonplace ways that the astrology shows up, because it doesn't have to be that deep at times. And yeah, this one just spoke so clearly.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, of course, Mars would be the ruler of rubies, and things being uncovered or excavated under that Scorpio full moon, just like wow. So
well, and what I mentioned as well was like they mentioned in the article like civil war in Myanmar, and like some of the conflict surrounding it, and like this was very much a thing that was, I believe, taken by like the military rulership. And so it's like maybe some questionable like morality decisions around like this giant jewel. So it's pretty, it's fun, but like some darkness to it as well.
Yeah. So I mean, that's definitely going back, but that one was too good not to share, because we all love crystals, don't we?
I love that. Interesting take, Beth. I love it. Yeah. Isn't it really pretty? Very pretty. I love me a big stone. So yeah, that's the Taurus new moon, and some of what's been going on for us, some of what's been going on for y'all. Definitely feels like a big moment. Feels a little wonky, a little weird. I've heard that from a few people, feeling just a little wonky.
Yeah.
But I think, what did we say? Deepen your roots, this idea of grounding it down, getting out in nature. Definitely, I've had multiple moments this week where I've just like gone outside and stood in the grass barefoot, because I just needed to let it melt away, and just let the sunshine and the bird song and the coolness of the grass like pull me out of that funk, pull me out of that wherever I was. I've been a few different places, but really like nature, I feel like is such a cliche part of Taurus, but such an accurate part of Taurus.
And I think 2 weeks ago we really talked about that concept of conscious
like decision making.
But you had such a good word for it. It's such a fun phrase. But the message with the Taurus full moon is like, you have to consciously choose to like step into that lane of self-nurturance to take care of yourself. It's that idea of putting on the oxygen mask before securing your own before someone else's. But really now knowing that we have to be intentional about that we have to kind of make that choice every single day. But choosing the time to do that is really going to make the journey so much more enjoyable moving forward. So yeah, if you've just been running on steam or adrenaline or like really high vibes, calm down the heart, calm down the nervous system, get back into the body, eat a good meal, stop running on fumes. And yeah, this is that opportunity to take that forward as something in your toolbox that will support you. Because this year is only going to ramp up. We will be doing a really fun show in a couple weeks talking about Jupiter entering Leo, which is really going to start a new chapter of the astrology inside of 2026. And that's just more of that fire energy. Like I said, there's not really a lot of internal reflective moments of respite moving forward. So take this for what it's worth.
To answer your question, Lynn, yes, I have been barefoot in the river, but it's receded quite a bit right now and it's very muddy. And so I have not mucked my way through there quite yet, but I have, and I love it. And 5th house stuff. Yep. That sounds about right. Scorpio daughter being sick.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, I mean, Scorpio.
I love it. I love it.
Well, thanks so much, everyone. This was a great show.
Good show.
Let us know down in the chat.
Yeah, put in the comments as well. What is
in the
going on for
comments.
you? The comments. Yeah, the chat's going to be
comments.
done because we're going to be not live in a moment here. But put in the chat what is going on for you, so that we can all learn from each other. And especially those I saw there was a bit of conversation from Carol about learning astrology. Definitely a great place to start is reflecting on your own stuff and looking for other people who have similar placements or similar energies as you and what's going on in their lives too to help jog your memory. I feel like typically though the astrology is more obvious than not. Like you don't always have to like dig for it.
Yeah.
But that's just my experience. Thank you so much. Sending you guys love, and hope you have a wonderful moon as it goes exact in just a little bit. And
a really big start to Gemini season. Wow.
Yes, happy Gemini season. Here we go. Whew, I don't know if I'm ready. I feel like Taurus season wasn't enough of a respite.
Oh, I know.
We'll make it through, guys. We'll make it through. Ground down, drink some water. All right. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.